Well, if we get nothing else out of this movie, we get this one thing. The confirmation that we need to protect Jack Black at all costs.
Peaches, 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 peaches. Ah! Oh, yeah! Ah!
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today our movie in the middle is the Super Mario Brothers movie. The Super Mario Brothers movie is the animated adaptation of the iconic Nintendo game about a pair of plumbers who try to save the world of adorable mushroom creatures from the fire-breathing behemoth Bowser. This really is a weird-ass concept, isn't it? How did this get so popular? It stars Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Keegan-Michael Key, Seth Rogan, and Jack Black. Well, like many people, after I saw the trailer originally, I was skeptical. The first high, and I think the biggest one, is obviously the visuals. I think they did a really, really great job, especially with the setting, the surroundings, the locations. Everything is just so colorful and vibrant, and everything's moving. It was so much fun to see Mario just like come in here and just bumble around and be knocking into things and trying to figure out his way around everything, because obviously that's what we're here for, you know, from the video game, is just all of the stuff that's going on around Mario. So I think they did a really, really great job of incorporating everything and throwing it all in there in a really visually wonderful manner. Specifically, the Rainbow Racetrack.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
This thing was so cool. It was by far my favorite part of the movie because it was just, again, the visuals were just awesome. It's from the video game, so like we already kind of know what it looks like, but seeing it on the big screen with just darkness all around except for just the rainbow color on the road, it was just so cool. That was by far my favorite part of the movie. And again, I think they did a really good job of incorporating all the Easter eggs and references and things from all the Mario games, kind of putting together all of the three main ones, the Super Mario Brothers, the Mario Kart, and the Super Smash Brothers. I think they did a good job of kind of putting them all into sort of cohesive story, putting all like the shells, the eggs for Yoshi, the keys, the power-ups, all of that stuff. They did a pretty good job at doing all that. Although I will say it does get to be a lot of like you're sitting there and it's kind of like, oh, it's the banana. Yeah, he slipped on the banana. Oh, he said it. It's a me. He said the thing. It's a blue shell because it's in the game. Yeah. Sometimes it's kind of like, oh, there's the thing, but it's kind of what we're there for. I did like one little change that they made was that Princess Peach is a badass in this movie. I really like that, and she actually teaches Mario some stuff, which I thought was really great because normally she's just a damsel in distress. So I thought that was really great that they made that change because it made her so much more interesting. And lastly, there are some pretty good ideas for certain individual scenes, specifically towards the beginning before they actually get into the Mushroom Kingdom, whatever it's called. They have like Mario and Luigi running through the city, but like in the sort of like linear path that they have to take. It kind of is like foreshadowing what they're going to have to do later on, and I thought that was pretty cute. I like that. So for the first middle, I think my biggest one for sure is the voice acting, and it's because when I saw the trailer, I thought, I don't think any of these were the right pick. Even Jack Black. Now listen, hear me out. It's because I saw it as not Bowser, but Jack Black doing his best impression of Bowser he possibly could. So my original statement was, I don't think any of the voice acting was really that well casted. I'm going to amend that to say I think the voice casting was very well done for the movie that Illumination wanted to make. I'm going to talk about this in a second. It kind of ties in. I don't love Illumination as an animation studio. I don't love most of their movies, but I think for what they were trying to do, I think the voice acting, like, in terms of just the quality of it for what they were given, I thought all the actors did a very good job. Yes, including Chris Pratt. There is actually an explanation as to why Chris Pratt is the voice and why he sort of doesn't sound like how he should. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually think it was a slightly good idea. First, because it kind of humanizes him a little bit more, and secondly, I almost wonder if the original voice would have actually gotten annoying by the end of the movie. So I'm gonna go on the side of saying it might have been a good decision. My other middle is that Luigi is kind of sidetracked in this movie. He's kind of thrown onto the back burner, and I don't know if that's necessarily a surprise, but it is kind of a disappointment. But the reason that it's a middle is because they actually use that as a means of making him more important later on. They actually emphasize the importance of Luigi and why he needs to be there. And ironically, they have to do it by having him not be there for some of it. So it's a little upsetting because I'm like, I love Luigi. And he gets overshadowed by Mario a lot. But, I think they're going to try to do a sequel, so hopefully he'll be in the next one more. But I really did like him, and Charlie Day did a really great job. So for the lows, this does not feel like a movie. I can't put my finger on why, because honestly, it has all of the story beats, it has all the plot points that any other movie does. It kind of has a sort of up and down a little bit, and it has themes and everything, but it just doesn't feel like a movie to me. It just kind of feels like I'm watching just a straight line of events that were like the framework for a movie, and they were just kind of spitting out okay, this will happen, and this will happen, and this will happen, and then we make the movie. But it was the movie. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on why, but I've seen a lot of articles and titles of articles of people saying, this is kind of strange. And I think that's why I've seen some. I haven't really seen a lot of reviews because I don't like to influence before I do mine. But a lot of them seem to be gearing towards, it doesn't really feel that complex or impressive. And not to say you can't have a straightforward or simple movie, but this is, shockingly average. And Mario's not something that's, incredibly complex or intricate story-wise. Mario's going to save Princess Peach, and there's Bowser, and there's Donkey Kong, and that's a lot of what it is. As far as I know, I'm not a super huge gamer, as you guys kind of know, so it's kind of like my Dungeons and Dragons review, where maybe there's something that I'm missing. But I've played Mario a bit here and there. I love Smash, and I love Mario Kart and Super Mario Brothers. So I know it a little bit, at least. So just watching it just as a movie, even not as somebody who loves the games, but just as a movie, it just felt like it was super short and super chopped up. It should have been longer, but then they cut it. I wasn't really sure. Just after the movie was over, I was like, was that it? There were parts, especially towards the middle, where I was like, this just feels like it's just a series of events happening. There's no big conflict in the characters other than the big conflict, the big problem, Bowser. So I don't know. It was weird. My other low is just that, like I was kind of referring to earlier, I don't really like Illumination that much. They just kind of feel like the store brand version of animated movies in their production company. I don't really love how the animations move or what they look like. I don't love the tone that they go for sometimes, and it just feels cheesy or cringy rather than fun. And this one was fun. Really what it is they have movies that are geared towards kids, which is perfectly fine. Most other animated movies that I like are geared towards kids, but adults find stuff in them that they can love as well. And in this one, they're really relying on the nostalgia of it. Even then, it's okay, well, but I don't feel it. I don't feel really anything in this, and it's cool to look at, but, it's not for me. It's for little kids. And that kind of sucks considering the audiences of people who grew up with it. You think, I don't know, it's 6 one, half does the other, because some people will be like, but I just want it to be as if I was a kid, and other people want it to be well, I'm an adult now, so I want a little bit of that. Like Bowser. I wanted a darker Bowser, but I will say that I think they did strike a balance pretty well with an aggressive Bowser while also kind of being funny in this love-struck way. So I thought that was interesting, but it wasn't my favorite. It just always seems like they're trying to make everything too light and too happy, even in the villain side of things. And I'm like, look, you can make things a little bit dark. It's okay. Then again, it is Mario. So you see what I mean? Where I'm just I'm kind of split on how to feel about it. It just kind of feels like they're trying to pander to mainstream a little bit too much. They even have the Suicide Squad problem where it was just random mainstream songs for no reason that don't fit into anything, just to be there and be like, ooh, yeah, it's fun. And their jokes usually are like hitting you over the head with the joke rather than like implying it. But I will say they're starting to get it, because there was one edit that I was pretty impressed with where they could have really hit us over the head with a joke and they cut away before it completely happened, and it just let us fill it in. And I was like, all right, you're getting it. That's good humor. Do that more now. So overall, I don't know exactly what to think about this movie, because every time I think about it, I feel a little bit differently. And, from hearing people's comments here and there, I think people are pointing out things where mostly my feel was, I don't feel like going back and watching this again that much, because it just felt like it lacked a lot of substance. But then again, a lot of people are like, well, it's mostly just about the nostalgia and the visuals. So I don't know. I'm a little bit split. I keep feeling like, oh, it was worse than I remembered, or it was better than I remembered. I think really what it was is, it's not a great movie, but it has a lot of good stuff in it. I just didn't really feel that attached to it. For being this really cool video game animated movie, I don't think it was as good as it could have been, but it is definitely better than a lot of video game adaptations have been. I'm going to give the Super Mario Brothers movie a 2 out of 4, making it my next true movie in the middle. Well, guys, let me know what you thought of it. And again, I didn't play it as religiously as other people did and still do, so maybe you have a different take on it. If you loved it, great, because it was fun. It was definitely a fun movie. But let me know what you thought in the comments below of it, because, there's just a lot to like about it, but I can see where people are kind of split. And as always, keep your hopes high, your stress low, and movies right in the middle. I'll see you guys later.